This is Allison Charbonneau. I'm doing a movie review over the film Benny and June. So, just to give you a real quick plot summary, you're first introduced to Benny and June in the beginning of the movie. June has some kind of emotional disorder, mental illness. They don't really specify what that is, but you quickly learn throughout the movie that she is clearly coconuts and just delightful and wonderful, but also has her challenges. Benny is her brother, her older brother, and her only family in the world, and he is her primary caretaker. He is her parent, her brother, her everything. And so you kind of go through life together with Benny and June and see how complicated it can be and how anxiety filled it is for Benny and how heavy it can be for him. He struggles with what to do that's really best for June. She can't really be by herself because she has some unsafe behaviors. So he hires housekeepers to stay with her through the day. Well, it doesn't work out because she tends to be a little difficult. So after a series of unfit housekeepers, June, in a weird poker game, wins a cousin of one of Benny's friends. His name is Sam, and you're soon introduced to Sam as a character, and Johnny Depp does a wonderful job, as always, depicting Sam. Sam is eccentric and charming and lovable and all of those things, but he's also clearly a little bit off of his rocker. In fact, June says to him in the beginning of the movie, "You're out of your tree." And he responds, "It's not my tree." Kind of a perfect way to quickly show that they're both challenged with some kind of emotional disorder. So, as the movie goes along, it's quickly shown that Sam is probably the best thing in the world for June. They're a perfect fit for each other, and slowly they develop real feelings for each other. And I think the movie does a really nice job of showing that even though they have their challenges, these feelings of love and the excitement of new love are very, very real and should be treated that way. Well, the movie crisis comes in when, of course, Big Brother finds out that June and Sam have been involved with each other, and he kind of can't handle it. Um, he threatens to put her in a group home, and she freaks out and ends up in the hospital. And it all comes to a happy ending conclusion where they kind of compromise, and Benny lets June live in an apartment, but still has provided some supports with her so that he knows that she's safe. And um, the relationship between Sam and June continues, and it's just really a cute movie. Um, I liked it. I watched it when it first came out 20 whatever years ago, and I was pretty young then, and I knew that even then it was something special. I loved being able to go back and watch it again. So, meet June. Some of the things that make us believe that she has an emotional disorder. She has really odd behaviors. She's hysterical, but um, sometimes unsafe. I know that her brother's afraid that she's going to burn the house down, and she has a hard time being around people and social situations. She has some sensory issues, and that can lead to huge meltdowns, irrational emotional outbursts, quick mood changes. She's very reliant on a routine, and ultimately, she's pretty isolated. She doesn't have friends. She can't even manage to get along with somebody who is hired to care for her and be nice to her. It's a pretty lonely life, actually. So then we go on to meet Benny, who is the brother, the older brother. He's dutiful and loyal and protective, but also has undertones of being incredibly anxious and conflicted and ultimately tired. He's exhausted. Life with June is not easy. Um, when we meet Sam, we see that he's eccentric and charming, lovable, unconventional, and really quite talented. Some of his challenges are that he has difficulty expressing his emotions, and you learn that he has limited academic skills. He can't read or write enough to fill out a job application. But ultimately, he really has a fairly good grasp on reality, even though he's out there, he's weird. Um, he's still is okay. So reality check: is this real life? I don't know. I don't think so. It's a pretty Hollywood sweetened up version of what a mental illness is, I think. Um, but with the spectrum of mental illnesses and individual input and aspects of different people being whatever they are, it's feasible to me that this could be a realistic scenario. Um, the impact that it would have on viewers, I think it kind of cutens up mental illness. Like even the ugly parts when she was having a hard time were still pretty tame in consideration of what of the depths that mental illness can really go with a person. And um, like I said, it was a cute movie and it was good. And I think it's a nice introduction to yeah, there's all kinds of different people out there, and um, some are more mentally healthy than others. My personal rating of the movie is a 5 star. I mean, how can you go wrong? It's Johnny Depp, and I just think, like I said, it was a sweetened up Hollywood version of mental illness, but it was still a version of mental illness, and within the spectrum of the whole thing, it falls in there somewhere, and that it's got to be going on out there. And I really liked it. I thought it was a good movie.